Hey guys, Zach here. Got my guy Ethan, Brody. Thank y'all for coming in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Been in Austin for the week, just getting around everyone, working with Wiley, working with the team, working with Caleb, and you said the goal for everyone is 10K every single week. I know, Ethan, how long have you been working with us for?
Been here, first day was February 3rd.
February 3rd, okay.
A little over 3 months.
3 months,
Yeah.
got it. And what has that first 3 months been like? How much have you produced? How much is your team doing?
Insane. Yeah, this first month, 16,000, and I was just starting to build the team, so
Okay.
no one had really passed their test yet and got started. Second month, I did take a week off, but still did about 20,000, just shy of 20,000. And then third month, the team started building, and I got a few of my buddies to join.
Yeah.
And having like that competitive person in here with me, pushing me to do better. My third month, I did 70,000.
So I think a lot of people wait. Like I waited probably a year and a half to start recruiting just because I was like, I feel like I had to get everything figured out. And one of the things that people always ask, like, hey, what would you do differently? I did a call last night at like 8 p.m. and they were like, what's one thing you could change? I'm like, I would have started recruiting day one, which you did. Why did you feel comfortable recruiting right from the beginning? Because most people wait and they wish they didn't wait.
So initially, actually, at convention, before I even started, my plan was to get good at selling so I could be a good leader for my recruits. But Caleb, my upline, he told me to ask Calvin what he thought because he said Calvin's a killer. He has great advice. So I asked Calvin, and Calvin immediately snapped and said, recruit at the same time immediately as you sell from day one.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to question Calvin. So, so I just started recruiting from day one. And, I mean, it is a process because they have to get licensed, they have to study, they have to. So it takes, like, at least 2 weeks, usually, like, around a month for them to get going.
Yeah.
So I would recommend, like, start it immediately. It is just as important because they're not even going to get started for probably at least a month.
For at least a month, yeah. And you started, like you said, in February. You went to convention. You've been here 3 months. How many total agents do you have now that are working with you, that are selling every month, and then they're in the pipeline?
28.
28K. 28 that sell every month, or
So 16 that are selling.
16 that sell, and then you have another 12 that are in the pipeline.
Yeah.
What are some things you could give if anyone's new watching this and they're like, okay, like I hear the message, everyone says they should recruit earlier. Like, what did you do to start recruiting from day one?
Just post every single sale, and not just your own sales, but also like all of your boys, all of the team members. If you're winning, that's cool, but showing everyone winning, it's like it shows that it's possible. It proves the system. It shows that it's a plug and play system, and so it's like post everything consistently, 7 days a week, and then in due time you're gonna get people texting you.
Yeah,
people are watching. You know?
I was talking to Ronnie Salem about this the other day, and he was like, "What do you think about like the lifestyle versus?" I'm like, "Dude, I think it's a lot cooler to post like your guy's lifestyle than your own."
Right.
Because if you're like bragging on your friends, like that's cool. Like, but if you're bragging on yourself, like you kind of look like a dick.
Exactly.
You know. But if you brag on other people, then you're like, oh, like this is cool. And then so like to bring Brody in, Brody, you sold how long? This is your first full month in the business.
This is gonna be the third I'm coming.
Third full month, okay. So, and last month you sold 40K.
Yeah, first month 40K.
First month 40K in the business.
Yeah.
Second month 40K.
42K.
Right now I'm on pace for the same thing. AP I'm at like 50, but
okay.
IP I'm trying to hit the 35 for the
okay.
comp, so yeah.
Got it. So you've hit that 3 months in a row. So what and it's crazy because I started in 2017. So this will be my 8th year in the business. Yeah. And it took me, I think, 8 or 9 months to get to where I wrote 40K. Now, like, what do you think allowed you to start in the business and be able to get to 40K your very first month?
Well, the first thing was seeing someone so close to me, Ethan, doing crazy numbers, because it inspires you. You're like, why would I not be able to do the same thing? And when someone like that sets the example, it's like you have to work just as hard.
Yeah.
So obviously it's about working hard, but the difference is, leads is crucial.
Yeah.
When you start investing in your business, it's a big difference. So like my first week I did 3K. Second week in Goldmine I did 9. But then after that it was 12, 15, and now it's consistent, 12, 15. So
when did you start buying leads?
My third week.
Your third week, got it. What did you do before you were doing life insurance sales?
Car detailing.
Car detailing, got it. Did you go to high school, college?
Just high school, yeah.
High
I
school.
didn't go to college. Same thing as Ethan, just tried a lot of stuff.
Cool.
Detailing, it was the one that sort of stuck, but again, just not making enough, and I just needed something new.
Yeah.
So when I saw him doing this, I was like, let's fucking
We actually auto detailed together.
Yeah.
So
You
we
guys
had
did.
an
Got
LLC
it.
for 2 years.
Got it.
And then I got into this, and they saw me. After I made my first sale, they got onboarded that same day.
That's
so
awesome.
It was quick, yeah.
The guy that does, I have a guy that comes here, does my car every single week. He came in on Monday, and like this guy threw the keys to. Every time he comes in, he's like, dude, I should just do this, huh? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how much money? Like, I know what I pay you to do, and I overpay you, and I give you a good tip, and I pay you. I think I pay you like $300 to do my car. I'm like, you could
That's
make
good, yeah.
for like 3 hours. I'm like, dude, you could make a sale in 1 hour and
Yep.
make 3 times as much money.
Yeah,
like, why don't you just
exactly.
come work with us?
Come recruit him.
Exactly.
And so this
Yeah.
last time when we were all doing the meeting afterwards, he was like, okay, because I've already given him the course. He's like, I'm gonna get my license now. Like, this is enough
Yeah.
is enough. Everyone's younger than me in here. Like, I can't be out there washing your car,
Yeah.
watching your guys make money.
That's
so,
awesome.
so you did
Yeah.
detailing. What now? Going from doing detailing, like you don't have to buy a lot of stuff. You have to buy like some rags, some wash. Like
Yeah.
you don't. It's not. There's not that much that you have to spend money on to be able to
Exactly.
do it. Dropping a couple grand on leads, big difference, right?
Yeah.
What gave you the confidence, or like how did you kind of talk yourself into that I should spend a couple grand on leads to start selling 40K a month?
Yeah, well, the first thing is obviously some people are not going to have like a savings to start.
Yeah.
So it's all about what you build in the gold mine. Thankfully, I actually started off good in the gold mine, so I was able to work with the house money. But that's the biggest thing is you just want to start with the gold mine, so you're not spending, and it's all money that you've made. And from there, you have the confidence like I can sell. It's money that I've made through this business,
Yeah.
and it's just reinvesting at that point.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously, all you're going to do is scale.
What do you think allowed you to have? 'Cause when you say gold mine, that's just like a batch of free leads that you guys have, and I think it's
Yeah.
pretty common. Most agencies have some kind of like pool of leads where people can go in and dial. What do you think? Because I've given we have a few hundred, probably 600,000 leads just that we've had over time that are in different groups we give out to people.
Yeah.
And some people kill it, some people don't kill it. Some people are like, these are the best leads ever. Like we had a guy from a different insurance company this week in here who sold 5 policies from the free, like in the first 2 days. He's like, these leads are the best. And I've had other people go like, I couldn't get anyone to answer the phone.
Yeah.
What do you think allowed you to have success on working old, what some people consider to be crappy leads?
I mean, obviously, the first thing is you have to dial all day and
Yeah.
work the hours that people tell you to work, 10, 12 hours. But it's about being diligent with your time instead of not. Because you can be on and you can be on Zoom unmuted or muted and just kind of like mess around the whole time. Or you can be unmuted where you're getting tips to improve with every single call.
Yeah.
And you're actually dialing the whole time. You're putting up 3, 4, 500 dials.
Yeah, and
There's a
I was
big
gonna say when you say
difference.
10 to 12 hours, like that's 500 dials plus a day, right?
Yeah.
What were your to sell 40K? What does your day look like? Like what time are you starting dialing? Do you do anything before you get on the phones in the morning? Like break down your whole day for us.
I mean, usually I try to be up by 7, and then we're on the phones at 7:30 my time, which is Pacific. So,
Yeah.
And then it's basically just 12 hours from there. So the whole time, I mean, I'm going to take a lunch break in between, but dial. Right now, I don't have a big team, so that's why I'm also able to produce so much, and I'm focused on it. But the thing is, it's just about being diligent with the whole day. Like
Yeah.
anytime you're dialing, like be dialing. Don't be scrolling, fucking texting people, whatever. Just be locked in, and it's actually gonna pay off no matter what.
Yeah. And then so Ethan, for you like you said, you started in February. Before you even started, you flew out to convention. You guys have done a bunch of different entrepreneurial things. Like how did you find insurance, and why did you decide, okay, like I'll go to convention. I'm just gonna. You've done a really good job being coachable. It sounds like you're like Caleb said to do this, I did this. Calvin said do this, I did this. Like someone told you to go to convention, probably Caleb, and you did it.
Yeah.
So I guess first question, like how did you find insurance, and then why have you just been so bought in since you found insurance?
So I found Garrett, actually. We went to the same high school. He's
Okay.
3 years older than me.
Okay.
And I saw him killing it. And so I texted him about it. And then I saw that his upline was Diesel.
Yeah.
And I thought, might as well just go directly to the source.
Okay,
He's going
got
to teach
it.
me better than
Got
Garrett
it.
will, probably. And so then I just texted Diesel. And then he's all over social media. So that's why I think it's so crucial. Because if they weren't posting on social media, I never would have found them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be sitting right here. And then as for coachability, for me, it always just seems like a no-brainer. Like he's doing what I want to be doing, so like he already knows the steps to get there. So don't question what he says, just
Yeah.
do it. It just seems like a no-brainer.
When you graduated high school, you guys were doing the same detailing stuff, all that stuff together. What was your goal when you graduated? Like, was it to build a business, or what were your thoughts about where you were going to be now?
We wanted to be business owners. We didn't know what business because we didn't really know our passion yet. Our
Yeah.
passion was just making a lot of money, but we
Yeah.
didn't know how. The goal was $10,000 a month. You can
Got
make
it.
$10,000 a month. You can make 6 figures a year. You're set. You're well off. And really, just it wasn't working. Nothing was working. And then I got all the way through my whole savings, backwards against the wall. So something had to work out. And I saw this was literally plug and play. Like anyone and everyone was coming in here and making money. So like I knew I could make it work, and it wasn't like if it works, it was like I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
And so I flew out to convention, and that was huge because, you know, actually seeing in person 5,000 people that are all selling at a high level and talking about how they do it, like that shows you how real it is. So it opened my eyes. And then coming back home from convention, you know, super disciplined, working 6 days a week, 70 hours a week at least, and everything's just been scaling huge since then. So it's huge.
What was the biggest? I know you said you had to see like the 5,000 people, which is huge from convention. What were the big? Other than that, what were the biggest things you took away from that event?
Well, really, it just showed me that, like, successful people aren't superheroes at all. Like, literally, like, you were there, so you saw every single person on stage. When asked how they're successful, they all said the exact same thing. They're all doing the same thing. They're working harder than everybody else, and they're not giving up. That's
And
it.
they buy leads.
Yeah, they buy leads. If you have a lot of leads, like, people overcomplicate it, but when you and Wiley say the equation, like, lead flow plus workflow equals cash flow, like that's literally the entire business.
Yeah.
That's all it is. If you have the leads and you have the work, you're going to make the money.
Wiley and I were talking about this yesterday, and I think some people in our business like want to feel really, and it is cool to sell a lot and make money, and like you're like, I'm pretty good at this. It feels good to be good at something.
Right.
But if you want to build a big team, if you can go like, the only reason I'm good at this is because like I follow a script, I work the hours I need to work, and then I buy enough leads, then you can replicate it, you know, and you have to make that decision. Like, am I going to have a big business, or do I want all the spotlight to be on me?
Right.
And like, I think me, Wiley, and what you guys have learned early is like, if you decide that I don't need the spotlight to be on me, I want it to be on the system and how plug and play it is, and how you don't have to be the best salesperson. You don't have to have gone to college. You don't have to have any of these special skills. Like, if you buy enough leads, you work really hard, and you are willing to get coached up and do whatever people tell you to do, then you can be successful in this business.
100%.
And that was my message. Like, I was like, dude, I suck at sales, but I buy enough leads and I work a lot, and I make multiple six figures selling insurance. And that message is a lot more scalable, because everyone's like, oh, I can do that.
Right.
Whereas some people, if you go like, hey, like, I'm the salesperson of the year, you have to do this script and say all these cute rebuttals and all this stuff. Some people go like, I don't know if I can replicate that. You seem pretty polished, you know? So I think like that's one thing you learn is like the simpler you make it, the easier it is for you guys to build a really big team.
Yeah. And it is very simple. It's very simple. Like when I get asked all these questions, or I have to lead a training, like, it's tough on me because my answers are always just going to be listen to your upline. Like simply, like, the best advice I could give a new agent would just be never let your upline be working when you're not working.
Yeah.
Always be outwork them, or at least be the same as them, and then mimic their activity.
Yeah.
If they're recruiting, you should start recruiting. If they're selling, you should start selling. And if you're just copying exactly what he's doing on a day-to-day schedule, eventually you'll be in his shoes living that life as well.
What about for you, Brody, to wrap up? What if someone wants to go from new agent to sell 40K, do you have any sales tips you give them, script tips, lead stuff? Like, what are two things you give them they have to do right now to sell 40K the first month?
Two things is the first one, I mean, it's just so simple, but it is, I'm just going to kind of play off what he said, is whatever your upline is doing, that's huge. If you were to mirror that or do better, there's no way at all you're not going to see success. And the second one is in Zoom, don't be muted.
Yeah.
Like, stay unmuted and be coachable, because otherwise, I mean, a lot of these guys, they're in Goldmine, they're saying, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not seeing the results, all that. It's because, like, no, you're not able to get better.
Yeah.
Because nobody's telling you what you're going to be able to get better at. Because at first, it was literally just me, Diesel, Ethan. I was unmuted. They were like, hey, do this. All right, I'll fix it.
Sounds good.
And then it kept rolling.
He wasn't allowed to be muted.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to. So that's a big thing. You got to be able to, have, open ears for everyone. So.
Well, dude, and now your point was Zoom. It's so easy to be coached. Like, when I started 2017, I was in Charleston, South Carolina. We had a tiny office there. Yeah. And then the biggest office in the country at that point was in Atlanta, which is 4 hours away. I used to drive there twice a week, 4 hours each way, so I could get coached. We didn't have Zoom. No one was coaching on Zoom. But I'd go in there. I would sit with the top producer at the company at the time. I didn't ask. I'd go into his office and be like, yo, I'm going to dial in here. Yeah. He'd be like, well, I'm dialing here. I'd be like, I'm going to dial in here, and you're going to tell me, like, what I need to do better. And I just, like, I wanted help, And like, but now you don't have to do that. You don't have to drive 4 hours. You can go to an office, not go to an office, but there's no reason not to be on Zoom and ask for the coaching, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, like, if you want to be humble and you want to be helped, someone will help you. So
Exactly.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping on. This is great. Hopefully y'all take what they said, implement it right away, and go crush it this week.
Yep.